In this week's Do Something With Your Marketing, I want to encourage you to do more with what you already have. Many of us are what I would call Pareto users of the software and services we buy. If you're not familiar, the Pareto principle is sort of 80-20. 80% of the benefit or the use or whatever comes from just 20% of the features that are included. In years past, Microsoft used to talk about how in Microsoft Word, for any given set of users, like lawyers or doctors or secretaries or whatever, they would only use 20% of the application. Now, what was different was, of course, they had different 20% for each audience. But there are some things that lawyers will do in Microsoft Word that a doctor would never do, never have a need for. But they still had to accommodate all of the requests of their many audiences in order to make everyone happy. And of course, the thing got bloated and pretty out of control over the years. But this brings up a really good point about the software we own, or the software we use, or the SaaS services, or whatever you want to call it these days. We have a tremendous amount of features at our fingertips, and we don't spend a whole lot of time getting to know them or what they do. So let's look at an example. I'm going to bring up here Google Analytics. This is everyone's favorite friend, Google Analytics, and most people, most marketers, use just a fraction of the total features that are available in this application. Just as a quick example, if you click on the admin here, there are all these different settings, all these different buckets, and then in each little bucket, there are additional things that you can click on to learn more about, and all these different features and stuff. So how much of the application are you using? A lot of the time, and this is something that's true in marketing, in business, the martial arts, everything. A lot of the time we spend time looking for the next big thing. What's the next big thing? What's the next new thing? What's the next shiny object? What's the next hot thing? And really, what's next is what we already have. We're just not using more than a fraction of the features. So I want to encourage you to do something with your marketing. I want you to do more with what you already have. Let's look at an example. I'm going to go into audiences here in Google Analytics. There's a whole bunch of things here. How many of these things do you know what they do and how they benefit you? Is it all of them? A few of them? None of them? Some really, really interesting questions, right? There's a whole bunch of these different features. Let's take a look at audiences. What does the audiences thing do? Audiences is all about looking at different audiences, looking at different groups of people on your website. Now, this is valuable because this allows you to segment and advertise to these different groups of people. Well, where would you go set this up? If we go into admin, we go into audience definitions. Hey, look, there's our audiences. And we can have all these different audiences that are available. We have our smart retargeting audiences, our smart lists, our visitors who come from Facebook, people who didn't go to a webinar, people who exhibit buying intent. You can create tons of audiences within Google Analytics. I think it's 50 that you can create out of the box in the free version. And you can see here, we can see certain audiences in both Analytics and in AdWords. So if I wanted to, for example, and I go into my Facebook audience here, I'm going to edit my destinations. I'm going to add now, I should be able to see my Facebook audience in my Google Analytics as well. Let's go take a look. So there's my public speaking audience. Let's see, go back a couple of months here. And what kind of other audiences could I find in here? Different types of users, and I can add segments to my audiences to segment only a certain percentage of my audiences, or people who buy my books and things like that. And those audiences, again, I can now, if I understand who's in my public speaking audience, these are people who've been to my public speaking page, I can pass that back to AdWords and say, I want to advertise to the people who've been there. Because if they're event planners, I want them to hire me to speak at their events. So this is just one of the many, many, many features in Google Analytics. We have things like cross-device tracking, which is a subject of a past episode of Do Something With Your Marketing. We have all this stuff in behavior. We have experiments. We have flows. The next big thing for you may just be something that's in an additional menu here that you haven't gone through and learned yet. So what I want you to do once a week is in whatever software you use, whether it's Google Analytics or Salesforce.com or HubSpot or Camtasia or whatever software you use every business day. Pick one feature a week that you know nothing about, and just start Googling for it. What does this feature do? What is the benefit? Why is this important? Why did the designers spend time and money and effort building this feature into the product? What is the benefit of it? In a lot of cases, you'll see, like even in Google Analytics, there's help buttons that will help you understand individual pieces of software or individual features. What does this feature do? By doing that, by digging around in these applications, you will level up your capabilities. You'll become an expert user because you will know what the things do. And that will help you do more with your marketing. So, pick something, one new thing a week to learn in a piece of software you're already paying for, and master it. Master the basics. Learn to become proficient with what the features do. Learn which ones you shouldn't bother using, right? That are not appropriate to your company or your business. If you do that, I promise you, you will become a much better marketer. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.